Your film Ramanujam won Best Production at Norway's NTFF, right? So, how
Mhm.
does your filmmaking lens influence the way you look at gender, violence, and the body?
So with filmmaking, well, I have something in the works that I've been working on. The thing is, I think visual storytelling, it makes such an impact that, compared to other forms, because you have to imagine it. But then visual storytelling also means that you're showing somebody something. So and they are understanding it the way they see it, right? But I find that in say in a written text, you have the space to imagine it how you want it. So as opposed to in storytelling, it's impactful. So I think there needs to be more responsibility in visual storytelling for that reason, because whatever you show just gets etched into
Yeah,
people's minds, right?
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
when it
yeah.
comes to gender and women, the way they're represented, the way even queer folks, the way they're represented is so important, I feel. So it's not, what I hate most is just adding somebody on just to be like, oh, look, we're very inclusive. We just have this one extra character just to like, fill that space or be so unless you're centering that person's or subjectivity or giving them space, I don't think you shouldn't. What's the point of just having that? So that's something. No stereotyping essentially is what I would say.
Oh, which is such a commonly done thing, stereotyping. So many still assume, that queerness in India is Western. I mean,
Mhm.
it's going to take very long for us to go back into what we started with, India. So, which arguments or stories from your book really dismantles this myth and does it very effectively?
So one of the ways in which I've hoped that people can see what I'm talking about is by
Mhm.
including archival pictures in the book. So the book has a bunch of photographs and like paintings and etchings that I found. And I'm not saying that, oh, look, these are queer people,
Mhm.
but if you look at them, you see how modern they are in terms of just how they sit. You have these pictures of women sitting with their legs spread apart, like in very masculine, ways. The legs, they're not like demure, like those how you'd expect women to be. Oh, you're like, oh, Indian women have been like, like this. Like, no, actually, they have been so badass. Like, you see these pictures, there's no way you can say, that was the case. So you see that, and so I think that's what I hope will make that impact. Like we were just saying, the visual
Yeah,
impact that
yeah.
visuals have. So you can see for yourself. Like, you don't even have to read. Like, you just see these pictures and you're like, you know what, we're missing something here. So I think that's what I hope this book will help undo.
So, if young women today could unlearn just one cultural script, what should it be and why?
Oh my gosh, that's a good one. Women should define themselves for themselves.
Mm.
You know, often find that when you're like trying to define yourself in opposition to something, or, like when your whole existence is about hating the patriarchy, for instance, it's
Mm.
important. But then what does it do to you? Like, are you really being honest to your own self, your own, what your needs, desires, what you need, for yourself? So I think that we need to be individuals. We need to beings for ourselves, like really go in deep and see what we want. I think that's what Indian women have forgotten, because they're always thinking about, oh, what will my child want, what will my partner want, what will my
Yeah.
parents think, what will society think,
Mm.
like, or what will my peers think, all of that. So I think the most important thing is to define yourself for yourself and
Mm.
just make that choice.